where Petter Korda is involved with Michael Steek, and Michael, oh, check that, court one, Ferreira and Courier. 13. And Jim Courier, who had a early break, has broken back, and Ferreira now is serving for the first set.
Well, this is surprising, Dick. Wayne lost to serve the first game of the match. This first time he served, excuse me, go down 2-love, has now broken Jim Courier twice to serve for the first set.
They played the final at Indian Wells earlier in the season, and Courier won that in straight sets. It was best of 5.
Courier beat him very badly in that match.
3-3 and 1.
Wayne is much more comfortable on grass, and Jim is clearly not as comfortable on this surface.
Courier led 4-1 in this first set, and Ferreira has taken 4 consecutive games.
Wayne's not going to be happy with that call. That was clearly inside the line.
That looked ace. He'll have to accept it.
You can't place a serve any better than he just did, but
Americans not as familiar, of course, with Ferreira's play as with Courier's, but he's an excellent grass court player, growing up in South Africa, and has some big grass wins, including the Queen's Championship a year ago, and he went to the finals this year. Here's set point, 2 of them for Ferreira.
Dick Wayne had a great match with Boris Becker here in the round of 16, losing a 5-set thriller.
Whoops. One set point loss.
One of the knocks against Wayne Ferreira is he tends to get a little bit loose at times, and I think you're going to see an example of that right here. Very easy flowing motion. I serve, very talented player, hits all shots well, but here's where he gets a little bit careless sometimes, and that's not the time you want to do it at double set point up. He still has another opportunity to put this away.
Second serve now for Courier. Ferreira's strength is his return of serve, one of the best in the game. Excellent serve, and Wayne Ferreira, the 13th seed, has taken the opening set against Jim Courier. 5 straight games for Ferreira. American Jim Courier. He's number 2 to Pete Sampras in the world in the ranking, and it's 5-all in the second as Ferreira won the first set, 5 straight games to win at 6-4. And Courier serves 15-30.
30. And he is staying back, as he said he would. He said, I'm going to play it my way. I'm not a serve and volleyer. He tried to serve and volley last year throughout. He didn't last long, losing to qualifier Andre Olhovsky.
Also, because he saw Andre Agassi win the event, he figured if Andre could do it, he could do it.
It's been done.
Well, Courier a point from 6-5 in the second. Jim, 21 now. He's been so successful, it's hard to believe that's all he is. We talk about a veteran player, but he's still a kid.
2 French Opens, 2 Australians under his belt. Tremendous final this year with Sergi Bruguera, who chose not to compete at Wimbledon.
It's wide. Courier holds 6-5. Wayne Ferreira leads 1-0. Into a tiebreak to capture the second set, and it's Ferreira with a mini break as he took the point on Courier's service game. Ferreira already up, 6-4 winner of the first set.
2-0 Ferreira.
Jim is known around the tour as one of the best returners of serve in the game, and that's where he has to take advantage of Wayne Ferreira. His second serve is not as strong as the other parts of his game. He's got to really try to step in and go after that ball. As he said, take advantage of his strengths. Jim Courier is a very strong returner server.
Courier gets the break back, but what an effort by Ferreira.
Ferreira is extremely quick around the court. Here we see an excellent return by Jim. Most players would not even get to this next shot. Well, Wayne Ferreira tried an incredible shot to try to lob volley over Courier's head, and it's not nearly deep enough. Solid backhand overhead by Jim Courier. There's that inside-out forehand, Bud.
2-all.
One of the most devastating shots in the game.
Well, as you said earlier, he's staying back more on his serve. He stays back on that first serve, but he set himself up for that big inside-out forehand.
Courier and Ferreira have played twice. Courier winning both matches. French Open 2 years ago on clay, and then hard courts Indian Wells this year in straight sets. 3-3-1 for Courier.
Oh,
clearly a great opportunity, however, for Wayne Ferreira. Wayne Ferreira's strongest surface is grass. Jim Courier's weakest surface is grass. Wayne Ferreira coming off an excellent result in Queens where he got to the finals. Jim Courier has been struggling a bit so far as we see the double faults. 4-2.
Well, Ferreira's 2 service points, leading 3-2. Six and 0 in sets for Courier until today. Ferreira winning the opening set 6-4.
Ooh. Oh! Ah!
Jim Courier, like a baseball hitter, taking batting practice. 3 full swings before he could get the point.
Here's a very smart play by Jim Courier. Wayne Ferreira hits a volley not quite deep enough. Just stretches here, but normally Jim Courier will wait on that, but instead this time he takes it in the air. Unusual for Jim, but a very smart play on grass. Here he holds that backhand pass and just flicks it cross court for a winner.
Let's see it at normal speed, how quick the hands of these men are.
It's that strong wrist there. Flicks that wrist, and here's a sweet shot by Jim Courier. Good movement, too.
Boy, Ferreira's reactions sounded like a grandfather clock. Tick-tock.
Wayne is very quick around the court. Good hands at net as well.
Ferreira slipping, and Courier thought the ball was long. Caught the baseline.
What a half volley there by Wayne Ferreira. He's slipping as he hit that shot. Watch this as we see he comes in, starts slipping on his front foot, yet hits a great half volley just inside the baseline. Jim almost hit that in. Only missed that by about 2 inches. Watch him start to slide there. Strong wrist allowed him to get away with that, as well as excellent timing.
Oop.
Almost 3 net cords. It's 4-all.
Here's where Wayne Ferreira made his mistake. He's well in the point. This is a shot he had to take better advantage of. Instead, he just pushed at it a little bit and allowed Jim Courier to take a full swing after hitting the lead. Jim yelling at himself, come on.
It's not been easy for Courier today.
Dick, I'm sure he expected a tough match today.
And it wasn't easy against Stoltenberg on center court on Saturday. Well, he gets a free point there.
5-4 Courier.
Wayne's tendency is to get a little loose on that forehand. He takes a big swing on that. Sometimes when the ball's slicing at him, he has a tendency to completely mishit it. And as I said a couple days ago, he's one of the few players in the game that does use, top players I should say, that uses a wide body. So when you mishit it, boy, it goes.
It's wide, and Courier now with a couple of set points.
6-4 Courier.
Shortly after 4 o'clock London time.
Almost gave Jim another chance there.
And now Jim Courier to serve for the set at 6-5.
6-5.
Wayne Ferreira, it's a good first serve. Really, the point seems to be over here, but Jim guesses right and actually has a swing at it and touches it. What a way to end the set that would have been.
Amazing to even get a racket on it.
Good athleticism by Jim Courier there. Will he come in on this serve is the question.
Ooh.
He wasn't planning on it. He wanted to get a good first serve in and whack that forehand if he can. Wayne looking to get into net.
Ooh.
6-4.
It's long.
Surprising there because Jim Courier had Wayne Ferreira stuck way behind the baseline and really went for too much of a shot there, especially on set point. He was in control of the point and tried to put too much on that forehand.
35 on our update program. So they change ends, 6-all. Courier with 2 set points, swiped away. And now the third for Courier.
7-6. Courier.
We talked about that wide body, Bud, and when you miss hit the ball, it goes anywhere. And to some degree, that's actually an advantage for Wayne Ferreira because he himself doesn't know where it's going, so the opponent certainly doesn't.
7-all.
And it's disconcerting when you feel your opponent's not even sure where he's hitting it. 7-all in the tiebreak.
Two big serves by Ferreira. And now he has the set point for a 2-set lead.
7. Ferreira.
Very important that Wayne Ferreira got 2 first serves in those last 2 points. That's what you commonly call in tennis a choke, Bud.
Wasn't an impressive return.
Wayne just wanted to get the ball in the court, and because of that, he got very tentative.
Courier 11-8. Yeah, you would expect a man so high in the rankings to have more success.
Oh, look out!
9-8.
Well, Dick, usually he doesn't go to a tiebreaker. He wins before he gets there, so he doesn't have to worry about that most of the time. Just watch a replay of this as it hits the net post, almost goes in the court.
Which would have been good.
Which would have been good.
Boy, the net judge just reacting, not even looking at the ball. He was fortunate.
Richard Fortescue Alford.
4th set point, Courier. And he gets a second ball. They're even a set apiece. Courier 10 points to 8 in the tiebreak.
You see a replay, the second serve.
1-all.
Wayne appeared to be indecisive about where to go with that volley, and he paid the price for it. Big backhand pass by Jim Courier to make it 1-all. We watched Jim here. Got the ball in play, hit it a little bit higher probably than he wanted to. Wayne tries to go behind him on the volley. Hits it too short. All tied up.
Not a lot of animation from Courier, but Ferreira was most upset with himself. It's a set-all. We're back live at Wimbledon, looking in on court 1. Jim Courier up a break in the 3rd set after he took the 2nd set tiebreak 10 points to 8, 30-all. Wayne Ferreira serving. Ferreira ever so close, had a chance for a 2-set lead in that tiebreak. Courier prevailed.
Dick, I think that's what's cost him in the next game. Losing his serve the first game of the 3rd set was a little discouraged. He knew he had a great opportunity to win that 2nd set tiebreak. And Jim Courier took full advantage to break him the first game, up 5-3 now.
Well, Courier's turning into the overtime kid. He could have lost that 2nd set tiebreaker to Jason Stoltenberg on Saturday, too, and would have been in a lot of rough weather.
A lot more trouble if he had lost his 2nd set to Wayne Ferreira and go 2 sets of love down.
Wayne Ferreira holds. Courier will be serving for a 2-1 lead. But first, we pause for these words from your local station. And a break opportunity for the South African Courier. This is Courier serving for the third set. He leads 5-4, but advantage Ferreira. So a set each, 5-all. Boy, we've got some contentious matches at Wimbledon. That's the court one wall that separates it from center court. Just a few seats there. The friends box, the press, and then the royal area at that end of the court, and then the large seating area, over 7,000 accommodated at court one, where Jim Courier will serve for the third set. And here's our Diet Pepsi recap. Unforced errors, 7 less for Courier, who's won just 4 more points. Ferreira is the aggressor in the match, so it figures he would commit more errors, but he just has committed 2 double faults to give Courier this chance to serve for the third set.
Dick, that was a very surprising turn of events. Wayne Ferreira got himself back in the set by breaking to go 5-all, gets up 40-15, and then loses 4 straight points, including 2 double faults, as you said. Wayne very upset with himself.
Well, the double fault is the golf equivalent of out of bounds, and for all levels, the pro right down to the hackers like us, I mean, it's tough to just, forget about a double fault. What did you do?
That's a setup, Dick.
No, what did you do? Give me a hint.
Well, first of all, what you would try to do is, especially on big points, you don't want to just give points away like Wayne Ferreira just did. What you would try to do is, as I've said at other times, take a little bit off the first serve, play a little bit safer on the second serve. You see here 9-5 in Ferreira's favor.
Well, John, we seldom like to say anything nice about you, but it's my recollection that double faults were never really that much of a problem for you.
I don't think that was a big problem for me, as we see triple set point for Jim Courier. Wayne Ferreira has let this slip away, and that's the knock against him, his concentration. I think concentration is important for double faults, because you shouldn't, it's like hitting free throws is really the closest analogy.
They're mental errors.
Really are. Sometimes the sun's in your eyes or there's wind, and that can cause something, but when a day like this, a beautiful day, no wind at all, there's no reason for it.
So Jim Courier playing his way from the backcourt leads Wayne Ferreira 2-1.
Courier leads 2-1. Fourth set, Ferreira to serve.
We see Jim Courier here with the big forehand. 2-1 up.
Courier leading 2-1. They're 1-all in the fourth. Ferreira serving.
Wayne just had a break point opportunity there to go up a break in the fourth set. Would have been a big boost for him. Jim Courier, probably the strongest player on the tour mentally, was able to get out of that hole. That's really what separates Jim Courier from the rest of the players, and it was what makes him the #1 player in the world right now, even though he's not ranked #1 in the computer. And that's his mental strength. Both the second and the third set, he could have easily lost, and this match could have been over. Instead, he's 2-1 up, 1-all, fourth set. Wayne Ferreira still definitely in this match.
Ferreira, young man, 21, like Courier.
Big match for Wayne Ferreira. Big opportunity for him. But that's what's commonly known as a casual half volley.
We have another Xerox Sports Facts question for you, and we'll give that right after this next point. And here it is.
40-15.
Xerox Sports Facts Q was the last male player to lose the French Open final, but then come to Wimbledon and win it within the same year, just a few weeks apart. It's the toughest transition in sport. It's like playing two different sports. Play in the slow clay of Roland Garros, come here to the fast grass of Wimbledon.
Wayne Ferreira.
Don't tell Bjorn Borg that. He won the French 6 times and Wimbledon 5.
Yeah, that's really, if you don't have any regard for Bjorn Borg, think about that. And we'll be back with the answer, but first this pause.
30 love.
Dade City, Florida's Jim Courier, winner of 2 French Opens, going into Roland Garros this year, going for the three-peat, denied by Sergi Bruguera in a classic match. Up a set against Wayne Ferreira in a battle of 21-year-olds. Ferreira from Johannesburg.
40 love.
And our answer to our Xerox Sports Facts question. Of course, Courier lost the French and would like to win Wimbledon, but McEnroe's the last to lose. Remember, 84, he doesn't want to remember. Shut your ears. Yvonne Lendl coming from 2 sets down to deny Mac, but he came here to Wimbledon and destroyed Jimmy Connors in the final that year.
Previous point was Courier's 10th ace.
40-15.
Wayne Ferreira with another classic two-handed backhand, which is becoming the norm in tennis these days. Moves into the ball nicely. Looks a little bit casual, Wayne Ferreira.
He's coached by Keith Diepram, former South African Davis Cupper, who now coaches in the United States.
He has a sister, Nicole, that's a competitor, a quality equestrian.
What was Jimmy doing there?
Well, he was trying to sneak in on that forehand, but instead, we see here on the, I should say the backhand, I'm sorry, but Wayne hits a nice low slice backhand down the line, and Jim got caught in what they say in tennis terms, no man's land. That area between the service line and the baseline that you don't want to find yourself in. Very few players get out of there.
You were okay there.
I just write Enberg on my court. I have it right there. It's like the logo in basketball. That's, you know, no man's land. I just have both sides of the court.
Enberg's area.
I'm in there all the time.
Well, that's where playing doubles can help in that area, because you have to hit a lot of balls there. So it helped me quite a bit, I know, when I was playing.
Another point for 2-all in the 4th for Courier.
Game Courier.
Well, Jim Courier, we talked about the toughness of the slow play in Paris and then coming here to the quick grass of Wimbledon, and Jim Courier has noted it well.
Yeah, it is. You know, particularly if you do well in Paris, you know, it takes away from your transition time. That's the toughest transition all the players have to make all years, to go from the slow clay to the fast grass. It's 2 different worlds, and you know, you just have to make the best. Obviously, you want to do well in Paris, but you're hurting your Wimbledon preparation at the same time. But you know, some things are more important. So.
And for Courier, it was important. He was in the finals, going for 3 in a row.
What a shot there by Jim Courier, an overhead from the baseline.
That's a good point, though, as you look at it again, John, that you do lose some of your preparation. If you're good on clay, then you just don't have the grass time to prepare for this tournament.
Here we say Jim Courier hitting that great shot. Yeah, but Dick, what the top players have wanted over the last 10 or 15 years is to try to get an extra week between the 2 tournaments.
Well, there should be. There should be more time to be spent on grass.
Well, I was wrong there. It was a forehand. It wasn't an overhead. It looked like a forehand initially. Either way, it was a great shot. Love 15. That would really help the players, because it would allow the players to take a couple days off, a week off, rest their bodies, and then give themselves 2 solid weeks of preparation.
There's only one grass court championship in the United States now. That's
where is that, bud?
Newport, Rhode Island, next week, where the Hall of Fame championships will be played starting Monday. And I am offering publicly John McEnroe and his brother wild cards to play singles and doubles or either.
Are you the tournament director?
No, but Mark Stenning has given me that privilege. Your answers anytime this week.
Thanks for the offer. I'm going to be too tired after this commentary at Wimbledon to participate.
Well, see, you won't be able to yell at anyone. See, you'll just go and play. You'll probably win.
I get to yell at you guys now, so it's...
Oh.
Guessed right, but just couldn't get there in time. He stretched this whole point, but
14-15.
We talked about David Wheaton and his love for hockey and emulating Bobby Orr. Well, Jim Courier, another who grew up really thought he was pointed for a different sport, baseball, his love, a left-handed hitter, and he's drawn that likeness. That two-handed backhand is so much like his left-handed baseball swing.
he's got the two-handed bag. He's also got the cap that has become a thing in tennis. Very few players wore it before, and now it seems about half the players or more are wearing them.
It's
Game
wide. Ferreira holds on serve, 3-2 in the fourth. Courier with a 2-1 lead.
Ferreira leads 3-2, fourth set.
We're back on court one, and Jim Courier, the 21-year-old Floridian, serving for the round of 8 against Wayne Ferreira.
Love 15.
And a double fault to open this service game, and it's a little after 12:30 down in Dade City, and George and Gladys Barbecue, I don't know if they'll open early on this Monday to watch their favorite and most famous customer.
We see here 9-8 and double fault. It's always the toughest game, Bud, to put away that match game off your serve.
I wouldn't know. I never did.
Courier hit 2 clean return
15.
winners to break Ferreira in the 7th game of this 4th set to give him the advantage.
Tony Trey always told me to use that serve into the body when he was Davis Cup captain back in the late 70s, early 80s. Very effective serve. Caught Wayne Ferreira there.
The sounds on court one are the best of Wimbledon.
15-30.
You really hear and appreciate the power. It's because there are no fans on, literally no fans on one side of you see all the crowd on the near side and then just a few rows on the far side, and so the sounds of ball against racket just echo off those walls.
That's where Pete Sampras didn't like the sounds of the old gentlemen opening their paper bag where their candy
For
was.
their sweets.
Yeah, gee whiz.
Well, Jim Courier wasn't happy with that last point. Wayne Ferreira slipped, and Jim tried to go for a little too much on that forehand.
$15-30.
Wayne Ferreira seems to be disconcerted by the fact that Jim Courier is staying back on his serve, hitting the returns extremely short. Standing way behind the baseline. I'm sorry, Dick. Way behind the baseline, tentative, and letting Jim Courier dictate play from the backcourt.
2 points from victory.
That's not Wayne's game.
Courier to the net for match point.
$40-30. Quiet, please. Thank you. Correction, replay the points.
Replay, overrule.
Michael Morrissey in the chair.
Was that called out wide or long, Bud?
Wide, I believe. But the umpires decided the ball was good. It must be replayed in that situation because it was a playable return for Ferreira, and he heard the call of fault.
They turned off Cyclops about 3 games ago.
Huh?
Wayne Ferreira is changing rackets now because I believe he broke his racket over in frustration in the previous point. Didn't want to get fined, so he kept playing with it. That's sort of funny in a way if you think about it. He doesn't want to get the $750 fine, but it's match point down, but he still play with that racket.
Yeah, there is a confusing logic about that.
A let go by Jim Courier allowed Wayne Ferreira to get a good look at that ball. Too much of an open court. Deuce.
So a second
Advantage
match
Courier.
point for Courier. Courier, should he convert, will meet the winner of Todd Martin and David Wheaton. They're deep into the fourth set out on court 14. We'll get back to that action after this is resolved. 5-all in the fourth as Wheaton blew a 2-break lead in that fourth set, and Martin rallied to 5-all.
Would you play serve and volley here? I know you would, but
I wouldn't if I was Jim Courier, because Wayne's been returning so short in this set especially. I feel he can control play from here.
Wayne Ferreira battles, denies another match point.
A gutsy point by Wayne Ferreira here. Almost slips here. What a way to lose a match.
White leads.
Couple nice backhands down the line to stay in this match. Just missed that wide. Wayne pulling some of his hair out of his head over that miss.
Advantage Courier.
Lady Luck falls on Courier's side as the ball lands in Wayne's world.
Yeah.
Third chance to move to the last 8. Call was long.
White leads. Game, set, and match.
It's long.
Courier.
Jim Courier in 4 sets over a disheartened Wayne Ferreira.
4-6.
6-4.
7-5. 6-4.
6-7, 7-5, 6-4. Courier is in the quarterfinals on Wednesday. It took 3 hours and 3 minutes.
Stefan Edberg playing another unseeded player in the quarterfinals. Jim Courier with a great chance now to get to the semifinals.
Well, Courier,
We see here the only remaining seeded players left now, Courier and Edberg. Martin and Wheaton fighting out on court 14. Should be very, very interesting.
Courier hoping for a date on the 4th of July Sunday and breakfast at Wimbledon.